All right, we are live.
Hello, welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode 439. I'm Otto. Tonight I'm joined with Jared.
What's up, everybody?
Alex.
Hello, fellas. Hey, good to see you guys.
Oh, and I can barely see it. Is that are we the malinformant, James? Is that
the malinformant? Yes.
Yes. There we go. Classic.
Great to be with you.
No, thanks for coming. And I'm really stoked to have a special guest on tonight, the co-founder of the Free Thought Project, Jason Bassler.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, fellas. It's been a little while in the making. I think, we saw each other at the Rage Against the War Machine rally, and we're like, let's do this. And then I was like, well, maybe let's do this after. And then it turned into, I don't know, 2 months later, I guess.
Right. I've always wanted to have on the guy who got Punk Rock Libertarians taken down from Facebook. Have him on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know if I could single-handedly take the credit, but I think, my influence was probably a big part of it, and a lot of other pages as well. I think somewhere around the tune of like 800 accounts or pages were all taken down in that purge, and I don't know. We were probably like an eighth of that. Like the network that we had accumulated with like share for shares and everything that we were trying to do within the liberty truth movement, so it's a shame though, man. Actually, I was just on a podcast. Well, not actually, it was a panel this morning with the World Health what is their name, and we were talking about the purge. We were talking about everything that was going on during that time, and basically just talking about censorship, which was great because I don't really feel like there's enough people really talking about it. Almost feels like it's been normalized to a certain extent. Like we've all just kind of accepted it. And so it was great to actually sit down with them, and Derek Bros was on with us. Joe Martino, the collective evolution guy, who's also doing the Pulse now. So it was awesome doing that, and kind of, I guess, revisiting some of that stuff, because that was like 4 years ago now.
5. So, that was 2018. That we were the first round.
Well, 5 years. It was like October, but we're getting close enough here. So.
Yeah, it'll be October. Yeah, it was like I remember that vividly. That was, I think Matt called me, Matt Bergman. He was like, yeah, man, it's gone. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it, because I remember like a few weeks before, that's where Alex Jones got taken down. Yeah, and then we were in the second wave.
Right.
I remember I think Facebook booted me out, logged me out of all my accounts, on all my devices, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then Matt sent me a text. He said, "I think the page is gone." Damn. And lo and behold, it was.
Did they ever respond to your guys' appeal too? Because I know they gave us one option to appeal, and then we just never heard anything back. And it was like, "Well, you're fucked." Sorry.
No.
Right.
I don't think we ever heard anything back.
But I mean, that was an early wave, right? Like we all knew it was happening, but I think the rest of the world hadn't really. They're like, "Oh, really? It's just some fringe group."
Well, it was. I believe it was right after Zuck went to Congress for the first time. And then as soon as he got back from Congress, this happened. Well, it was. He
went to Congress, and they're like, "Look, the Free State, the Free Thought Project, and these punk rock libertarians are out of control. Zuck, you better do something about it if you want to maintain your ring of power." You better, you know what to do.
That takes down.
It felt like that's actually what kind of happened, because if you guys remember initially, right after the Trump got elected, right after the election, everybody pointed at Zuckerberg as being kind of the culprit to have allowed misinformation on his platform. And at first Zuckerberg was like, "No, what are you guys talking about? You're crazy." And I kind of wish he had held his ground there and had some backbone. He's always been more of a team player in that sense, where, he'll bend over, for the shareholders, for his handlers and everything, that, tap him on the shoulder and no, this is our position. This is how we have to, approach it or whatever. So unfortunately
he did interviews where he said, of course we obeyed the FBI's request. They're the police. Of course. What do you mean we wouldn't? They're the police. We do. Way to go, dude. I
mean, what do you expect from an artificial intelligence?
Right. But now, with all the revelation, I mean, looking back now after all these revelations about the Twitter files and everything we know now that's been not just known amongst those that got canned and are directly involved, but the whole world is now like completely aware of the level of censorship that's been going on in social media. I guess most people are just fine with it. I mean, do you think
or they just found alternatives and they're just like, fuck those platforms. We're just going to do something over
people
here.
Who cared probably did. The normies stayed on because they don't really care about anything but the outrage issues anyway. But one thing that's interesting about that, I don't know if you guys have noticed, is it seems like Facebook and Instagram kind of lightened up on the moderation a little bit after the Twitter files started to kind of drop. It didn't seem like they're cracking down as hard. And just today, I actually noticed that Meta has this new program called Meta Verified, where they're taking a page out of Twitter's book now, offering $15 for a blue check mark, and you get all these, quote, different advantages. One of them being which you could actually have like a contact support email now where you could reach out to them if you're having issues. So
really,
yeah, that
I'm astounded by that.
This could be, with all that's going on with TikTok, this might be an olive branch, because so many people have left those platforms. Are like, fuck that, I'm not returning. I was zucked because I might have said boogaloo. I don't know. But
I had my account restricted like 6 weeks ago for posting a picture of Hunter Biden in his underwear hanging from balloons. Okay, as a comment. Okay, and it flagged me for sexual exploitation. Okay,
of adults or whatever.
I think that's maybe they're extending an olive branch because TikTok is just all the rage,
crushing them.
I don't know. I feel like
exactly.
I mean, going back to what you were saying before, I feel like our Instagram got way throttled in the past like month.
Yeah,
do you get that feeling, Otto? Like,
yes,
we used
to get, I do.
We used to get at least like 1,500 to like 2,000, likes or whatever on like a dank meme, and now it's like I feel like it's like 75% of that.
So
yeah, it got like that for a little bit. It's starting to pick up again. I feel, but I definitely feel like it goes in like waves. Because like I was just noticing today, this band called Drain, they're really awesome hardcore band. They made a post about how they had some t-shirts left over from their tour they went on, and it was the same post they posted on Instagram and Facebook. They have similar amount of followers on each. And on the Instagram account, I noticed it had 1,600 likes or whatever. And on the Facebook page, it only had 48 likes. So, I mean, am I supposed to believe that there's more people on Instagram that happen to see that than they're drastically worried on Facebook? When none of it makes sense to me. I feel like Facebook's just so throttled and it's so kept everything niche. But I do feel like it lightened up a little bit because our viewership started picking up a little bit afterwards, the Twitter files and everything. And we're still kind of riding that wave a little bit. But I'm starting, like Jared was saying on Instagram, I don't understand it. Like on Twitter, our meme will blow up, but now on Instagram, it won't.
Well, I think we know that I mean, Facebook is and Instagram, that's basically just a surveillance and propaganda tool. They don't care about advertisers. They don't care about users. All they care about is narrative crafting, making sure the wrong people don't get their ideas disseminated and that their own approved ideas get amplified. I mean, it's pretty disgusting as a platform.
Absolutely. Yeah, I should probably clarify, Jared. I actually meant the reach has actually dwindled for me as well, especially my story reach. I like dropped off a cliff. But I meant more of like the moderation as far as like the fact checks, the strikes, all those things. They seem to have been a little less maybe over the past 3 months or so. I guess, I don't know, when did the original Twitter files drop? Like around November or something? So
I think so, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I felt like we were just getting continually berated. First, it was, get vaccinated. No, first it was you had to vote, register to vote. Are you voting? Did you vote
or die?
Vote. Post this to vote. Click here to vote. Here's your thing to vote. Vote. And then they're like, and it's legitimate voting. The election was done. It's legitimate. It's legitimate. These irregularities are normal. It's legitimate. They're just jamming that down there. Then came vaccines. Like there was always something.
Well, they really don't like when you tell people to vote on the wrong day, huh?
Yeah, apparently that can get you thrown in jail.
Apparently. No. Yikes.
What's that? Does anyone have the link or that?
I don't. I just remembered it as we were talking about
good
it.
call, because that was one thing I was just like,
what's the guy's
fuck.
name?
I don't. He was some.
I
shit
just started
poster.
seeing that story pop up. Yeah, I didn't.
I'll have to
Give it a
find
People are
it.
chance.
saying this is the first guy to go to jail for a meme. I doubt it. I'm
No, it's
sure there's
not.
been. I'm sure
No.
people have been executed over memes already.
My good friend Joshua Martinez is actually on house arrest. He's got both state charges and federal charges for different things that they've kind of trumped up, and now they're starting to kind of railroad him on different charges. He's attracted the attention of the anti-terror unit in Vegas.
Jesus.
And all this originally started from a meme that I actually made, and he posted.
That's
So
called
it's still
spicy.
up on Facebook. It didn't even violate Facebook's terms of use or anything, but of course the feds and the cops that were watching them have a hard on.
What was the
for 'em.
meme? And let's share it. Here, let's get that circulating.
Right, yeah. Let me try to bring up the story here and let's see if I could find it, because I don't remember word for word what it was, but it had
When
something to
was
do with
this?
dead cops, which obviously is always like a very sensitive topic.
Oh, so
Oh,
this
here
is
we go.
the story, Jared?
Yeah, this was the
Orlando
story.
Far right. It's got to be far right. You got to throw.
So
far
yeah,
right on there.
a self-styled far-right propagandist from
Yeah.
Florida.
Far right Florida man.
Florida propagandist.
Douglas Mackey, 33, of West Palm Beach, Florida, was convicted in Brooklyn federal court after a 1-week trial. On the internet, he was known as Ricky Vaughn.
Right. Yeah.
He had 58,000 Twitter followers. Let's see, what did he do? I think it doesn't. Today's verdict. Blah, blah, blah.
Don't forget to vote on November, like something along the lines like
Oh
that.
yeah, he said Mackey urged supporters of then Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton to vote via text message or social media. And then one tweet, he showed a photo of a black woman with a Clinton campaign sign encouraging people to avoid the line and vote from home.
Oh wow, that's brilliant. What the fuck? I mean,
This sounds like something Bab would do.
seriously, Jesus.
Has
That's
done.
wow.
Vote for nobody, right?
So what is he
What did he get?
How much time? Yeah, how much time is this guy gonna do? He was just convicted.
Could face up to 10 years.
Jesus. Wow, for a fucking meme to vote, because they, just to Bab's point, the whole lead up to the selections right after 2018, after the Great Purge, how easy have they made it to vote? Like, and how much advertisement every football season, baseball season, all pop culture, vote, 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 vote. It's so easy. Mail in ballots, mail in, like vote early. Like in Maryland, you could vote like a month fucking early, and they're like, come on down or vote, register to vote. We're doing registration drives.
Why is it so important to them?
Yeah, right?
to have this level. I mean, I guess they can see participation dropping, right? Like every year, I think more and more people just opt out and vote for nobody. But what is the
and they're marketing to the lowest common denominator. They're marketing
obviously
to retards.
important to their I guess the way they create legitimacy for themselves is by it's the will of the people, right? And as the will of the people says, F you, they just get more and more desperate.
It's their
here was
democracy.
Here was Trump back in October of 2016 urging his supporters to vote on November 28th. His own supporters.
His own supporters.
Should he be in jail?
Right?
Yes.
Should be.
Yes.
Well, he will be.
Do you guys really think that? What's going to happen tomorrow? What are our predictions?
Wait, what's
I
tomorrow?
think they said that he's not going to do a perp walk, right? Isn't that was like part of the deal? He will be
does he get
cuffed,
arrested?
but, like,
Does he actually get arrested tomorrow?
I mean, he was flew up today, apparently.
I
Right?
think
What
it's
is that
fantastic.
tomorrow?
A lot of people think, like, of course, it's not for the war crimes. It's not for the constitutional violations. It's not for all the
Right.
horrible shit that he actually did. But let's make it just normal to have politicians get arrested. I don't have any problem with that. Like, let's have a little tit for tat. Like, what about Bill Clinton? Like, I'm sure there's some charges we could, like, imagine a perp walk for Bill Clinton. Even on this late day, people would love it.
Better late than never.
I think
right?
Hillary would probably get more of an applause, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Speaking
can you imagine
of,
him? They're in a holding cell together, him and or her and Trump.
Because Trump identified as female to go into the women's prison, right? That's
He should. He
That-
should.
that'd
He
be-
should just do that.
that'd be a boss
Yeah.
level move, wouldn't it?
That could be they could do that like every Trans Day of Vengeance or something. Just to commemorate, the day.
When is Trans Day of Vengeance? Should I get that
Did
on my calendar?
Did you miss it? Did we miss it,
It's-
everybody? Did we
It
miss
doesn't
it?
show
It
up
was
on my
the calendar.
Apple
Yes.
calendar of
It's not on the holiday filter
Yeah.
on my
Right.
Google calendar.
Next year it will be though. Mark.
Oh, I might.
It probably will be.
Let's make
Matt
it the next
Agorist
federal
got,
holiday.
Matt Agorist, the editor-in-chief for the Free Thought Project, caught a ban
Yeah.
on Twitter for that. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they're banning anybody who
No.
shared that.
What was
Wow.
it? What was he sharing?
It was the flyer for the
Oh, the
Trans Day of Vengeance or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. They
We
want to give
probably
the
won't
wrong
bring it up,
date. Is
but-
that why?
Was that satire or was that like real shit? Does anybody know?
I
I
don't know.
think it was real. The fact that it was canceled, and then there was videos out in Hollywood. There was protests. There was protests throughout the country. There was one up in Vancouver.
Yes. Dan
and
Dix.
Is it protesting the
Oh, yeah, he
loss
got
of their
assaulted.
martyr in that tragic school shooting?
yeah, and well, that too. And they're trying to bury that. There's so much going on there. The culture war is getting hot as the banks are collapsing. It's all look over here, big distraction, because it is getting fucking ugly. Like I'll pull up some videos here of some of the and then
Plus World War III for
right,
flavor.
we got that going on. And let me pull up the video too. Our Patriot Front, those Fed boys showed up out in Ohio. There was another story hour, and they decided to show
our
up.
Patreon front.
Yeah, our Patreon front, the $500 Fed level. If you are a Fed, we have a $500 Fed level. So
It's down to $500.
or was it 1,000? What are we up? Yeah,
I think it should be
500.
1,000.
1,000.
Yeah,
That's our Fed level.
1,000 Fed level.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1,000. Yeah,
That's still
anything over
cheaper than
1,000
like tapping our phones and checking our text messages and stuff.
for sure.
Damn. Did you guys see the video of Dan Dix? And let's see, I think he was interviewing Billboard Chris in Vancouver.
Yes. Can you send that
8.8
over?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it right now. 8.8
Yeah,
million
let's play that.
views.
Yeah, because I mean, it's pretty it's getting pretty ugly out there. Like I saw this rally in Hollywood, and they're it's very similar to BLM riots. They're getting out there, they're fucking shit up, and it's just like it's basically the equivalent of the Summer of Love 2 years ago. They're ramping. It's a psyop. They're ramping this shit up, and then the cops are just sitting back like, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. We got the
That's
video
exactly.
there.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. And
Oh,
this
nice.
footage,
You have it up there.
watch
Yeah,
how
this
much.
is-
Yeah.
Watch how much the cops just let it all happen and let it unfold. They don't intervene. They don't make any arrests or anything
Why
afterwards.
do you think they're getting that kind
So
of
he's just-
representation? I mean, it's clearly was.
He has a sign, children
aggressive
cannot
violence.
consent, and Billboard Chris is just calmly.
Fuck you, you're not wanted. Fuck you.
Oh my God.
You're a
Can we
fuck
just
you.
talk about the Canadian
You're a
accent on
fuck
this
you.
on this
I
trans
guess
person?
Police
officers are
Fuck
mostly
you,
indoctrinated as well.
Fuck you, eh?
They're afraid of
It's
the
like-
mob.
Because you're a
I think-
fucking idiot.
I think they're
Fuck you.
afraid that if
Fuck
they
you.
do anything to
Fuck
actually
you. Fuck
keep
you.
law and order,
Fuck you.
that
Fuck you.
they'll end
Fuck
up
you.
being on the end of this verbal abuse.
Ooh, there it goes.
So
Here it
it's
comes.
cowardice from everybody all around.
Fuck you.
People probably want to know, how do you keep your composure?
Fuck you.
What's that?
How do you keep your composure?
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And here it comes.
He's surrounded.
Fuck
He's just
you.
filming them.
Fuck you.
Now panning
Fuck
around.
you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's assault.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a violation of the NAP.
And the cops
quick.
really just don't do anything at all, except for they separate them, and that's it.
Well, I'm sure he would have hit her back, but you can't hit a girl.
Right.
This is true.
It was either a different video or later in that video, but Dan actually confronts a couple of the cops too, and like they basically just walk away from the conversation like they don't have any type of substance, to
Is he
articulate
pressing
their
charges? Can he press charges in some way?
I haven't heard
So-
that. I
Yeah,
haven't heard about that yet.
Yeah, I don't think anything came out of it yet. I mean, there's so many videos too where the cops are just completely disinterested, or like, oh yeah, maybe we'll do an
Well, they're really
investigation.
unhinged. I mean,
Right.
And didn't his sign say something like "children can't consent," or was it something?
That's
all it
all he
says.
was wearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hateful.
Yeah, the tolerance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is far out.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean they're having like trans erections down there in Nashville. Let me try to find
Trans erections.
yeah, trans erections down in Nashville. Yeah, they're this fucking, it's another op, dude. This is like another Black Lives Matter.
Mitchell.
You know
Yeah,
the
here it
price. You know the price.
Yeah.
There's a price, right?
Oh wait,
You
no,
really
he already
want
did.
it?
No, he increased his Patreon level just so
To what?
I could show him my nipples. I don't know. He told me he increased it. I'm
Oh,
not
I'll
posting
be the judge
nipples,
of that.
dude.
Did he reach the one nipple level yet?
I think so.
Isn't that like 1,000?
Well, whatever. You guys made that level, not me.
I
How
haven't
much
added
to
it
get
yet.
to the 2 nipple level?
I'll give up my Venmo for that. You can send it straight to me. Set up my OnlyFans. Cut
I'm
you
gonna
guys out
say,
of the mix.
let's just say for $1,000, you'll actually lick your own nipple.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm
Okay.
I'm a whore. I'm a whore for money. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I'll definitely do that.
That's your personal though, or that's like our Patreon?
No, that's my Venmo. I'm cutting I'm cutting all of you out. At band in DC. There you go. But yeah.
Right.
So what about this? This Nashville Trans you're talking about?
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, you posted on the PRL
I did.
The trans fed posting calling for violence.
Yeah.
So that's down there, Jared. And this was on TikTok, and yeah, we didn't get to talk about it.
We got a good following from that.
Yeah, it's that last one down there. Did you see this, Jason? Floating around on the Twitters, where this I mean, you have Patriot Front, and now I think we have like a trans front going on, like a Fed. It's right down. Let me pull it up.
AstroTurfing us.
Yeah. So
Where should I fast forward? It's like 3 minutes.
No, go
long.
ahead from the start. I mean, yeah, we can stop it whenever, but you'll get the.
She seems
Trans
rational.
people in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to fucking resist. Fight them. Hurt them.
What kind of weapon is
if
that?
they put their hands on you, beat them.
Or is that like a scepter?
We are at an attack. It's
got a
time to fight
jewel at the end.
back. Do you hear me? Trans people in Tennessee, trans men, trans women, non-binary, fight. If they try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing,
Wait, are they arresting trans people now?
No, that's the hyperbole. Like that's the oh my god, if this bill passes, they can round us up and shoot us in the street.
Oh, what's
Didn't
the
you
bill?
know?
Have you guys noticed like an uptick though and like aggression or violence towards trans people? Because there's this big push from the left to push this narrative that there's this war
There
on
isn't.
trans, and as far as I could tell, it's only happening in Florida with some of the laws that are going on.
Or they're
over
trying
there,
to provoke just that kind of reaction by creating,
Sure.
you know, the children drag shows, and just like they're literally trying to create confrontation points that really
Right.
don't need to exist. Like kids don't really want to go to a show. The library doesn't need a program. Even the drag queens probably would rather do something else, right? I mean, what's really going on there? Like, but somebody's
Tim's-
funding it.
Soros.
Tim says
Hey,
it's like a black trans Gandalf.
Do you want to play some of that clip from Netherlands children's TV? I know it's dark, but this is where these guys are headed. If you think this is going to stop, like where it's going to stop,
I don't want to watch that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
But let's
What
try to
was
just describe this horrendous thing, because we did discuss it, and I think I agree it's too horrible.
Was this on Thursday? Because I missed the show on Thursday.
No, we just
No,
maybe before the
It's
show.
a video. It's weird. It's like some show in the
child porn?
Netherlands. I mean, it's like reverse child porn. It's like
Ooh.
they're at a talk show and they're like telling the kids they've got like a whole bunch of like naked trans people on the stage, and they're telling the kids to like ask them questions.
right, about their surgeries and
Yeah.
what they had changed,
And they're like literally
and where
naked.
what
Like, you
happened
can
to
see
their
they're naked.
right, and they're all just they're
I'm not gonna
describing
show it
like,
on
well,
this
you know, I did
podcast.
this, and you know, and I mean,
We'll probably get
and
banned if we do.
but
Dude,
the whole
I'm letting
idea
you guys
about
know.
it is, and then there's
As soon as we
quoting
start
the
on this-
kids. The kids are quoted as being like, "Yeah, at first I was like, oh, that's weird, but now it seems all normal."
Well,
Like,
I just noticed we just got severely throttled as soon as we started talking about trans.
Oh
I don't know,
no.
did you guys notice that on their
What,
viewers?
we went from 6 to 4.
No. we went,
That's a 33%.
we went from
Oh, no.
700. Yeah,
What?
700.
700?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go with it. Keep the kayfabe up.
What
No,
about-
but as soon as we start
All right,
chopping, it
share
was
the
like,
link with Fakertarians, and let's see if we can get that back up.
yeah. Well, they do call me transphobic for whatever reason. For memes I don't even post. So
I mean, everybody knows that we don't care what anybody does with themselves, right? If they want to mutilate themselves,
Right.
that's fine. But this idea of pushing child mutilation, I just can't even imagine that it's happening. I can't even really fathom that it's being not only tolerated but pushed down people's throats as like you better start to accept this.
Yeah, that's a great
weird.
point. I mean, that and obviously just the normalization of the entire agenda as well. And you have to acknowledge it exists and it's happening. And if you're not saying that, if you're not acknowledging that, you're not really paying attention, unfortunately, you know. And I think that puts a lot of us in kind of like a precarious place where it's like, well, like we support individuals' rights to do things, but there's still this obvious agenda that's kind of being ushered in by the establishment. So, you know, like, how do we walk this fine line where we're not the bigots? But maybe that's the point. Like, we're supposed to be the bigots, you know?
I guess because it's like a
If
weapon.
you're a
It's
freedom
weaponized.
lover.
Well,
It's
I
been
think if you're
weaponized
part of
against
this sort of pharmaceutical, medical establishment, right? Like each of those kids that goes through a surgery, right? Like, what kind of billings is that patient going to generate over a lifetime due to that decision? $1 million? The surgery, the hormones, the follow-up visits, the psychiatric help, the checkups, the Adam's apple removal, the hip reconstruction, whatever you're going to end up doing, right? Like these are, I mean, we've seen what they'll do to generate sales to administer unneeded treatments.
I'm just letting you know, I might consider doing some of this for unlimited supply of beer. I might do. I might be on board.
Consenting adult, that is obviously,
put in?
that's all part of it, right? Like, knock
Slim it all
yourself out.
down.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is Otto's
Otto,
beer drift.
if you sign up for the $1,500 a month tier, Otto will get fake titties implanted.
I don't need fake ones. I already got the real ones.
I
much
know,
for
but they're
hormone
going to get even more
therapy?
firm and luscious.
Otto's hormone therapy is going to be expensive. So,
Do you guys
I mean-
think that's real, or do you think that was April Fool's? That the new
that was real.
spokesperson for Bud Light. You think that's real, or do you think
Dude,
this?
have you seen the boxes of Bud Light now that are coming around?
I mean,
dude, bravo to
you've
their
seen them in
marketing
person?
team. When was the last time anybody gave a
Not in
shit
person.
about Bud Light for any reason, right?
I know.
And
All
now
it's
a picture of their
brilliant.
logo is spread across the internet like wildfire, right? Like
And it's
from I
making me
mean, it's not like they're
crazy.
trying to
Memes,
sell the beer on flavor. It's
the
all about
cons
just
getting
pushing
all
the logo.
twisted up over it. It's funny.
Yeah, get people mad. Why not? It's Bud Light. I mean, Jesus.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I thought this was America. Look what they're doing to Bud Light. What the fuck? You
Well,
actually
yeah, and then what are you gonna
fucking retard.
boycott the other 500 brands that InBev owns?
Right.
You know,
Did you? You know, it was even more.
my
I think it
gosh.
was even more disgusting when they. And I don't even think of that as disgusting. I think that's just fun marketing. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
When they took the word Budweiser and replaced it with America on beer cans for a while. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember
Yeah.
that. What was
American
the cause?
Light?
Was there a reason why they did that?
Because Budweiser is America.
Well, no,
I
but
mean,
like
that's
the 4th
like-
of July, they have the patriotic ones where like they just like they'll have it completely like American.
Dude, what about
flag.
remember the Ukrainian Bud Lights?
Ugh.
It had the Asoff logo on it.
Hey, so James, I think you'd like this. So this one girl was posting on Facebook. She was saying, like, yeah, if you guys want to boycott Bud Light, you have to boycott all these companies. And so some guy commented, he goes, so IPAs are the only ethical beer consumption? And I was like, the way God intended.
There's probably some IPAs on their list though.
But no, it is crazy, man. It's like if you want to boycott all this stuff that you find.
Why do people want to boycott it? Because they don't like seeing a trans.
Oh yeah, we
in
never
a beer
really.
can.
Alex has been on the kick of this.
Yeah, Alex is real triggered.
Oh
no, I don't care. I mean, it's
who was the name of that
Dylan
transgender
Mulvaney.
woman? What's
yeah,
her name?
he's the one. Dylan Mulvaney. He's the one who went to the He went to the White House, and he's doing this 365 days of girlhood. And dude, he was on the fucking Price is Right. Like this dude is he's an op.
He was on the Price is Right.
Yeah, there's video of him pre this transition. We're talking before COVID's, where he's on the Price is Right. This dude, it's a fucking op. This is a psyop, you know.
So that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, they did say to get your cat and dog spayed or neutered, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, let me try to find out.
Jared.
What?
Jared.
You walked right into it.
Bob Barker. How did you
have your spayed and neutered? Is that what you?
Hey man, those are your words.
That was not my words. How dare you put that back on me? Put that evil on me.
No, I mean,
Yes, I found it, dude.
I mean, is Bud Light allowed to support trans people? Sure. I don't see why they
she was in like a bathtub, like with a can of beer with her face on it, and was the I guess the award they gave her. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not like they're selling that in stores, though, right?
I think
they just made her a can.
But there is
implying though that trans people are probably the ones that should be drinking light beer.
Dude, this is like it's some ESG.
I mean, the body positive crowd, like, hey, drink a light beer, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You said you found it, Alex. Where? What is it?
Yeah. What did we find? Price is Right.
I found it.
Oh wow!
Here we go. Here it
the
is.
Same
Here's
person that Drew Barrymore.
There it is.
Yes, that's what it was. Where Drew Barrymore got on her knees and so cringe.
Right, fucking dude. This is a fucking
play it, Alex.
Oh damn. Yeah. Here it is on Price is Right. Let's see. This was how many years ago? 2 years ago.
Let's make it Dylan Mulvaney. Come on down. You're the next contestant on the Price is Right.
What the hell is this?
Dylan, how you doing? Oh my God, this is the best day of my life. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you. Hey George, how about a prize that everybody can get on? Listen.
Wait, since when? Hold on. Pause this.
I got
actual retail price.
Since when do they
skydiving or what?
So they just call people out from the back. They don't have like them sitting in the fucking audience anymore.
Well, I think this was because of COVID's. Yeah, everything since COVID is worse. I mean, gone are the days of like a raucous Price is Right crowd and Bob Barker.
First of all, what happened to Bob Barker?
He
died.
Did he?
Pretty sure he.
No,
died,
he didn't die. He's alive.
Bob Barker?
Thought he died.
No, he's alive.
Bob Barker.
Maybe he is alive. I don't know. I remember having this conversation before.
I think he's alive.
Oh, he is. He's like
he's
alive.
He's alive.
He's 99 years old. He's alive.
Get him. We need to get him back on the show.
But yeah,
you don't like what's his name? Who is this?
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Yeah.
That's Drew Carey.
It goes on, dude.
Yeah, it's Drew Carey, man.
$2,040.
Okay. I thought Dylan was always trans. I didn't know. He was a flamboyant man at one point.
Dylan, how you doing? Right over here. Just say arms length away.
What?
Yeah.
So okay, and so here he's just gay.
Earlier, but tell the audience
right.
I don't know.
And then he became trans.
And I do music.
How can you tell?
He does musical theater.
Okay, I call him how I see him. I guess.
Okay.
I mean, it goes on. Watch. He plays Watch him play.
$2. So we already told you the price of the prize because you don't need to know the price. You have to know the price of groceries.
Dude, wait.
First off, it's been so long since I've seen a new episode of Price
I know.
Right.
It's so
this is like
here we go. This is when he won.
Oh my god.
He wins at the end.
Dylan's a winner. Dylan's a winner. Dylan, nice job, man.
I don't know if Dylan's a winner.
Did he make that shot?
Look at that.
No,
we're gonna spin the wheel right after this. Don't go away, folks.
I mean, this is such an op.
Yeah.
No.
What is going on? Okay,
Do you have to play a game of pool? All right, that's enough.
Wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
Dude,
Like, just keep playing the
Hey,
game.
you know what?
I mean,
Oh, Jared, you need to add that to the soundboard.
What the
The Price
Price
is
is
Right
Right one?
sound.
Clown world we're living in.
No.
My God.
What's going on? The show is off the rails.
Dude, but this is the fucking clown world we're living in. It's insane. That
I just
people
never
can't...
thought it would go this far.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just so weaponized.
I mean, if you were a member of, like, say you had been fighting for gay rights, your whole life, and you're like, we're really trying to get gay people accepted. Do you think that guy's doing you any favors? Like, look, we made it. We finally made it to Price is Right. Like, no.
Well, apparently she made it to Bud Light.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's this. Okay, now I get it. That's the woman on the Bud Light can.
I guess that was pre-op.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad to see that her career is progressing, and she's building on her success.
CIA funded.
Yeah.
Right. Seriously. Because she was posting all her gender affirming hospital pics, and now you have states passing bills for affirming care. For example, our governor here in Maryland just signed the Trans Equity Act, so now Medicaid and Medicare funds can go to gender affirming care. So
somebody's got to get rid of that bullshit term, gender affirming. Okay, that's really got to go. Okay, that is what a garbage.
Well, so they used to call it what, gender reassignment, right?
Yeah.
Right. See, no,
reassigning implies
reassignment acts like you're changing something.
Right.
We've always been what we say we are. We're just getting the surgery to affirm it.
If you guys have watched any of these, HIV pill commercials, they're like, this hasn't been tested on people who are assigned female at birth. Assigned female at birth.
Assigned female.
Assigned female.
You mean women?
Birthing.
It's not hard.
For you XX chromosome
person.
peoples,
Well, no, men can have children, so yeah. Jesus, I don't know.
My God, it's gone full retard in like a couple years.
I don't know. Like I don't know. It's like the culture behind it. It's just I don't know what to say anymore.
I didn't know.
I'm just starting to figure out what trans man and trans woman means. Yeah. Like I'm just starting to figure out. Okay, if that means man to woman. Like I'm now just figuring out how to say that. Now there's all this other stuff.
Right. Well,
a lot of that terminology
you're going to be wrong no matter what.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, I think he's right. A lot of the terminology, a lot of all that kind of worldview seems very like insular, and like it seems like it's hard to decode a lot of it. Translate, understand, like make sense of all the different terminology, all the different. It's like a whole different world, I think. And I think maybe in some ways that makes them feel like empowered. Like they have
clearly this gives them a sense of power
superior to you, because you don't understand this, Otto.
Sure.
You don't understand this, Jason. How do you not understand this? Validate me. You were aggressing upon me. Now it's like they're forcing something on us, and then that's somehow flipped where they feel threatened that we're aggressing because you didn't.
Well, what I find interesting is it's like I don't see a problem with adding like new language, like, okay, a trans woman is this thing and a trans man is this thing. But it's when you take the words that are already well defined that we use in our culture all the time and have been, and now you say like, oh, those words are like no longer, like woman is no longer valid. That's no longer a valid word to be used.
And we've decided that now you need to be a biologist to know what a woman is.
Right. That's where I think it gets a little creepy and at the risk of sounding cliche, a bit Orwellian, when suddenly language doesn't mean the same thing anymore. You're not adding to the lexicon. That's fine. But like completely shifting like normal words around, that gets a little creepy, I think.
But isn't that straight out of 1984? I mean,
yeah, well, Orwell. Yep.
I mean, or just the definitions changing all the time. Like, wait a minute. I have a dictionary here on the shelf. I don't think that was always the definition. Yeah. But anyway, what have you been?
It's all part of an agenda, though, and I think you'd have to be dumb or intentionally you're in on it if you can't see That this is it's done with an intention. Like it's one thing with people just to exist and just be like, okay, I remember as a kid, like I always knew there was people like call them transvestites or whatever, people that just felt like they don't have the connections in their brain. They literally, since they were a kid, were like, no, I'm a different sex, like I'm the opposite sex. And it was one or the other. And the mission was, I'm gonna go completely passable. Like I want to become complete. Like I want to become 100% a man or 100% a woman. Like you look at like Blair White, you know, that was her goal, was like, I'm getting rid of everything. And I'm not just going to do this thing where I look like a frog and
why
just
didn't Bud Light approach
not
her?
anything. And it's like, you get social credit points for saying like, I don't go by he or she. Like, okay, all right, I'm fine. But it's all being lumped in the same thing. And I don't know. Like, it is what it is, I guess. I don't care if you're my friend, you're a person I know. I treat you with dignity as a human. Like that's one thing first and foremost, but now I feel like it's just this greater overwhelm. Like I said, I keep saying it's being weaponized. And it's gonna
do you think it's let's do a quick poll. The predominant reason for this agenda, is it pharmaceutical / medical industry profits?
Yes.
Or B, a depopulation agenda?
Yes. Or C, a way to usher in the environmental social governance, to roll in ESG, you know, to create a social credit system.
I think it's just weaponized by media to create division.
And I think I mean, if you think about it, if you don't know your own identity, if you're questioning your own gender, if you're questioning your sexual preferences, your dietary choices, all these different things, you're going to be a pretty unstable, not necessarily confident person. You're going to be somebody who's weak, somebody who's pliable, somebody who's moldable. So I think at the end of the day, they're trying to create more weak people in society that can't think for themselves, can't take the initiative to think for themselves, don't know where they belong in society, don't know what their principles are, don't know what their worldviews are. Because why would they? They're constantly inundated by, distractions, entertainment. And then a certain narrative comes along. It seems like you're in the social club in crowd, with a lot of this trans movement stuff. That's basically what it is. It's a social club, and if you're not speaking their language and you're outside of the social club, I think all this stuff kind of comes back in a roundabout way, whether it be the changing of definitions or like what we just saw in the Dan Dix video there, resorting to violence, is that they don't know how to articulate. They don't have the threshold to logically be able to articulate their positions or who they are or what they are. So unfortunately, a lot of times it just comes down to this kind of groupthink, collectivist mentality. And I don't want to say 100% of the time, but like I would say 90% of the time. Once in a while, you'll catch one of these more, I don't know, well-educated, better spoken people who fit in with that movement, that scene, and they seem to have a few more answers than the average supporter of the trans movement. But I think for the most part, it's just a social club,
Absolutely. I mean, definitely well put, man. Like it's clearly like how it goes. And I feel like now, this is just my opinion. I am not a doctor or a biologist. So, but I feel like there's a lot of people who, like you said, they're questioning their life and where they are, and they may have like severe trauma from early in the past. And I think that they're trying to, find something where they feel like they're in control. And if I can switch over to becoming an opposite gender, I have control for the first time in my life over something, and I have the control. And it's almost like it's like a mechanism where they can use to self-heal, but really it's kind of just a band-aid over a big issue that they have. And if we keep doing gender affirmations, we're not treating some of these people who could be trans actually are people who are just seeking mental health, and they're not getting the right treatment. And that's when they kill them. I mean, that's why the suicide rate is so high in that community. And they want to make it they spin it and say, well, it's because they're not being accepted by society. But I feel like it's something deep, something more deep than that. And I don't know. I've only known a few trans people, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I just feel like there's some elements where they have problems. Like they always say like, oh my God, I've never been happier. But then they'll go on and then the next post will be like, I'm so depressed and so upset and I'm so down. But then they'll say, I've never been happier. And I'm like, I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to spin that. So it is what it is. I'm like I said,
I
I
just
like to
don't
treat people with
understand how we
dignity.
get to the point where, okay, I've got an agenda, but to get there, we're gonna normalize sterilizing kids,
Yeah,
mutilating kids. Like, I don't care, like, whatever, you're communist, I get it, okay, great, but do you have to mutilate kids too? I mean, Jesus.
well, that's another thing too. And like we said, like, look at RuPaul. RuPaul has been a complete like mainstay of our pop culture since the 90s. Growing up, it's like, oh, RuPaul Drag Race, like, and it was fun. No one cared. No one cared about drag.
Isn't he why we have
all
peace with North Korea?
Oh, that's Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, dude.
Who also did drag at different points. Yeah.
Yeah, he did actually wear drag. That's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just saying, like, it wasn't until this drag time story hour just when the whole narrative kind of got shifted, and we're like, wait a minute, whoa, too far. You know what I mean? Like, we're cool with you doing your drag shows and stuff, but we're not cool when you try to bring in children into this mix. And that's where this all came from, and that's undeniable.
But it's almost like their intent, they know that, and that's why they're doing these stupid kid shows. Like, I guarantee the kids don't need this, right? Like, nobody needs this crap except people that are going to profit from conflict.
Well, and then it's like, are drag queens the same as trans, the same as queer, the same as like
they did the lumping, not us, man.
Yeah, like, you're not really teaching them anything. You're teaching them about like a dude that likes to dress up as a woman. Like, it just, none of it makes none of it's consistent.
I think it's just a normalizing diversity kind of mentality. I think, like, there's different people out there that exist, so therefore you should be subjected to it at an early age. If I had to step into their shoes,
I guess
their mentality. But I mean, yeah,
you could do that by like taking them to like an Indian restaurant, or like,
well, this is why we call it the culture wars, right? Because that's exactly like what it is. And we see DeSantis pushing back, in so many ways. And so this is kind of like the people's way of pushing back, I guess, as well. And unfortunately, it's like we've hit the last line of defense, which was like supposed to be the sanctity of our children. And like, now that's being, like completely distorted and destroyed. So it's really unfortunate. I don't see it de-escalating anytime soon too. And especially like this, recent trans shooter, it seems like in Tennessee, it seems like, if anything, that's kind of amplified the trans jokes and like everything. And I'm sure the left is just like seething,
Yeah. I mean, you have the right now talking about, we need to have gun control against this community. It's
no. The backdoor.
Like,
backdoor
hero, right?
Yeah. I mean,
wait, what is this? So the right is saying they need to like ban trans people from buying guns?
Yeah.
Because they're mentally
gun control on behalf of this. And
that's fucked up.
Right. I believe it was Shapiro who came out with that argument, and thankfully most of the gun community was like, bro,
not surprised.
Like, we're trying to be consistent here, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, consistency has never been his forte. So,
what else have you been following?
Unless it's with Israel, he's definitely been consistent for Israel.
I love that fucking meme with him. It's like he's in a superhero outfit. It's like, is there anti-Semitism going on in there? And he's like, superhero. That's great. I have to find that one. What else have you been following and writing about, Jason, on the Free Thought Project? What have you been covering lately?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we were talking about this before the show started or after, but we've been talking about the Restrict Act. We've been talking about the Nord Stream pipeline, all the money being sent to Ukraine. There's like $127.5 billion that's been sent to Ukraine. What the Pandora Papers told us was like one of the most corrupt countries on the earth. It had like the most politicians with like not only offshore accounts, but like networks of offshore accounts, like that's how crazy it is. And so those are a few things, but I think both of those are kind of hot on my radar right now. Just the Restrict Act, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. It seems like the media kind of glossed over the Nord Stream pipeline, that's pretty 100%. Significant. And even just the UN recently voted to not investigate it. I don't know if you guys happen to see that, but only people who voted for it was like Russia, China, and Brazil, of course, you know. But yeah, so I mean, this is crazy, you know. Obviously, if Trump was involved, or if there is even any signs of some type of entanglement of Trump being involved with something like this, it would be the last, you know, the only thing we heard about for months on end.
It's only like the greatest act of environmental terrorism, like in the history of the world, right?
And Germany is a part of the UN, and they had no interest in investigating who blew up their infrastructure.
No, all those people said, no, we don't want to know. We don't want to know. No, don't tell us.
James,
they just don't.
Yeah, you made a great point, though. It's the largest methane release ever of all time emitted into the atmosphere. And like, this is not being talked about. And this is the same administration that said they were going to, you know, try to take climate change seriously. And here we are, you know,
right. Who's now burning more coal than ever before in Germany as a result?
Yeah. Didn't they shutter all the nuclear plants and now they're mining coal again? It's like, what the fuck is going on?
They've resorted to coal. Their industries have been destroyed in Germany. They've sacrificed themselves for this proxy war, and the UN. What an embarrassment to those people had to go to that meeting and literally say, no, we don't want to know. And then they go home and tell their kids, like, yeah, we tried to keep, you know, we're like,
seriously.
And these people are supposed to act like they're legitimate, and then they're going to lecture us on, you know, you don't get a gas stove, or you have to drive an electric car. Like, what the hell?
Wait, there was a recent one that the Biden administration is now considering banning as well. Oh, light bulbs, certain light bulbs. That's the new push. LED light bulbs
again.
Yeah. So I just read it on Fox, April 1st. This is the new push that they're within the next couple of weeks. They're going to try to make part of their climate agenda.
So the new light bulbs that'll activate the graphene oxide from running through our bloodstream. Yeah, is this part of the,
wait,
you know, five?
You're talking about getting rid of like what the incandescent
light bulb.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought that already happened. I thought they already
kind of tried to do that.
Just like existing on candles.
They hadn't succeeded.
Right, like. You need electricity to use light bulbs anyway, right? So you're going to be just burning candles, you know, cooking with coal. Like they want us to go back in time, technology wise and standard of living wise. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Remember in like 2008, they said we're completely ending. Obama was like, we're ending the incandescent light bulb. We're pushing that now. You're going to get tax credits for having CFL bulbs. They're perfectly safe. They're more efficient, and those things would pop and like they get so hot they were done. They
release mercury gas and like
all those poisonous shit, and then they don't even sell them anymore.
No, you can't find them anywhere.
Yeah, and like
LED everything.
Now they start pushing LED lights, which I mean, LED lights rock, but they're so much better than the stupid CFL bulbs.
See,
I'm sure there's some backdoor deal.
I think it's important for the regime to constantly push out these annoyances, right? So people can constantly think about who's in charge, right? And about how we're on this quest to constantly, you know, we're, you know, for the environment is a continuous thing that we all have to sacrifice for. And if they don't give you a new thing, you're going to forget, right? So it's got to be a perpetual annoyance. Like, see, we're the ones looking after the environment. We're taking away your gas stove. We're taking away your light bulbs. We took away your truck. We're coming after this. We're going to do rolling blackouts on your power. We've got, you know, like incredible fuel taxes. We're out, you know, banning ICE vehicle sales. You know, destroying like the trucking industry by like shutting and like, no, those old trucks. And like they just wave their hands and snap their fingers, and it's destruction.
The craziest part too is that Biden just approved the Willow project in Alaska. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that, but they're going to start drilling in Alaska. It was something that Trump originally started, but Biden really didn't have much of a choice. I mean, you know, of course, it was part of his campaign pledges to, you know, fix the climate issues, but he basically approved it. And they say within, I guess, the 30 years that it would be producing that 9.2 million tons of carbon. No, excuse me, that's a year. 9.2 million tons of carbon pollution a year. So yeah, that's just another.
What do you mean the carbon pollution? Just from extracting it or from using it?
I think both. I mean, just the building. I mean, yeah, the extracting of it, but then of course everything that's going into the process of building the refineries, building out the roads. I mean, everything. Apparently, it's really close to a wildlife refuge as well. So the locals, the natives, the indigenous people, I should say, aren't happy about it. So there's just a bunch of issues and red flags when it comes to that. And then, of course, the whole Biden response to the East Palestine train derailment too, like that was less than stellar. So, I mean, it seems like he's not concerned at all really about the environment, even though that was one of his main campaign.
He's concerned
issues.
enough to use it to control people, right?
Oh, of course.
That's really all they care about.
That's what it always comes down to. It shouldn't be a surprise, I guess, anymore.
But to even take these people seriously after they blew up that pipeline, and then we're supposed to and everybody just kind of laughs, like, oh yeah, we don't know who did it. Like, oh, isn't that hilarious? Like, let's all pretend we don't know.
Ukrainian, what was it? They called them Ukrainian
nationalists. They went out on a boat.
Pro-Ukrainian groups.
Yeah,
pro-Ukrainian.
Happened to be run by Victoria Nuland.
Yeah, there was a doctor on board. It was like a fucking Gilligan's Island. They went out on a fucking boat.
Just a 3-hour tour.
They went on a 3-hour tour. They dove down, like under extreme pressure, and somehow found TNT and fucking blew it up. And somehow they got away with it.
Yeah, they got some free clam divers to to go down there.
Yeah,
clam divers.
My God.
It's almost as funny as calling Seymour Hersh a blogger.
Yeah,
like media referred to him as a blogger. It's like, not quite, guys.
You're right.
Or it's Matt Taibbi when that hearing where they called where that I won't say congressman, she's like the representative
journalist.
Yeah, they called him a so-called journalist.
That's right.
Right.
Pressuring him to reveal his sources.
Yeah, and I was like, the gall of this woman. I'm like, who the fuck is this congresswoman? And I look her up.
She's not even a congresswoman. She's like
Virgin Islands. She's like a
they don't get a vote, but they get to
be
be at meetings, I guess. But they don't
get
actually
to show up. And I'm like,
it's kind of like being like a Region 5 alternate. Like go to the meeting,
Region 5 rep now.
Yeah, he got promoted. Otto got a promotion.
Yeah.
What?
Big promotion.
Yeah. He's a full rep now.
He's a full rep.
Really?
Moving on up. But no. But see, you talk about the Virgin
Whose dick
Islands.
did you have to suck to get there, Otto?
No, people just...
If you run for chair, you're gonna have to pay off whoever did that, for them to go away.
But talk about Virgin Islands and stuff. Isn't that the people who voted for in the Democratic primary? They voted for what's his name, Bill De Blasio.
Maybe I don't know.
Wait, who was the one who ran for? Oh crap! What was
the
his
rich
name?
guy from New York?
Yeah,
Bloomberg.
Yeah,
Bloomberg. Thank you. And Bloomberg.
Yeah.
That was the only place he won. Was the Virgin Islands, and then they send this Congress critter, as you referred to him, Alex.
She was just like on an unguided tour. Probably she was probably just like, "Hey, I'm here on Jan 6th," and they let her hang out. And they're like, "Here, we got this hearing. Come on in, and call Matt Taibbi a so-called journalist." Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Speaking of Matt Taibbi, I've been in communication with him for a little bit over the past, I guess, 5 years now. He did the Rolling Stone piece or whatever about the purge, and somehow, some way, I don't know, he interviewed me and I got in the magazine or whatever. But I've been talking with him occasionally ever since. It's pretty infrequent, but he did reach out to me at the end of February and basically said that, I'll read it to you. I found a big file in the Twitter files compiled by the DFR lab, which was the Digital Forensic Research Lab, which was one of the organizations attached to the Atlantic Council who basically instructed Facebook and Twitter to take us down. And that's basically what he says here, like the same group that advised Facebook in its original removal of sites like yours. He said that Twitter wasn't buying their reasoning and people on the list suspected Hindu nationalists ostensibly, but many ordinary Americans, conservatives mostly, were and often are real. And he said, like, this would vindicate you somewhat. He's going to expose their methodology of sloppy, half-assed journalism, or fact checking, I guess you could say. But so that's kind of promising, because if there is some documents that he does have in his possession that names, let's say, the Free Thought Project, Police the Police, or Punk Rock Libertarians, like, if it's actually clear that the government was instructed to do this, that could be a big payday for us. So I'm hoping, obviously it's a huge, like, it's a long shot, like way down the line. But if I could continue to stay in touch with him here, and if something does come out of this, then dude, we could be set for a while, I guess you could say, and revamp our organizations.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit. Damn,
That would be incredible.
That's a white pill.
Yeah, that's a white pill. So we're gonna leave on that white pill, because I don't think we can.
Otto can finally get some lights in his basement.
No,
He'll buy a generator.
This is no longer my basement. It's now my new bedroom. So.
Oh shit! He's in the doghouse.
No, my wife's bedroom too.
Oh, okay.
It's a long story. My kids now have their own bedrooms, and now we moved into the basement. So,
oh, nice,
fun stuff.
Moving on down. Come on down.
Like a bomb went off in my house, so I turned the light off. But anywho, thank you, Jason. Tell everyone where people can find you and plug away.
Sure. Yeah. So before that, if you guys don't mind, we actually just wrapped up our first book. Matt Agris and myself have been working for the last year and a half on a children's book teaching kids their rights, called Little Free Thinkers, Know Your Rights. So definitely inspired by the Tuttle twins, but we're kind of targeting more of like the anarchist niche rather than like the conservative niche. And it'll be, I guess, geared towards like 8 to 12-year-olds. So yeah, awesome. That's something that will be dropping soon. littlefreethinkers.com. Probably within the next couple of weeks, we'll have a physical copy. So keep an eye out for that, guys. And yeah, if you want to follow me personally, Instagram, jason.e.bassler, Twitter, Jason Bassler1. Those are really the only ones that I use as far as like the mainstream social media sites. I'm also on MeWe, Minds, Telegram. Yeah, those are basically it. Otherwise, the Free Thought Project, Police the Police, I think we're on like 15 to 16 different social media platforms. So just type us into the search bar. You should be able to find any of the stuff. Otherwise, go to www.thefreethoughtproject.com. Check out our articles. We put out at least 2 to 3 a day now. We even had Larkin Rose on the podcast last week. That just dropped today. So we had Dr. Robert Malone a couple of weeks ago. We've been trying to have some really hard-hitting, impactful guests. So yeah, check out all that shit. And thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Kudos to all the great work from the Free Thought Project over so many
Thank
all
you,
these
brother.
years,
Appreciate that.
and past and present and future.
I just want to say personally, like a lot of your stuff, like a lot of your guys' memes, like 10 years ago is what brought me further into anarchy and actually brought me to Punk Rock Libertarians, and I was just a listener and a fan at that time. And so I just want to thank you for everything, and keep up the great work. And, we'll have to have you on again too.
I appreciate hearing that. I always love hearing that. If I could ask really quick, and I'm a little out of the loop here, but what happened to Bergman? Like, where's Bergman at? I know he was like a big part, and
yeah. So he was, everyone who's, I guess you're a new listener or anything, but Bergman started the podcast. He had it in his basement, but he went through some things in his life where he's just like, I can't do it anymore.
Oh,
so shit. he asked like us to kind of take over for him,
carry the torch.
Carry the torch. So, but he's still around. He still messages me every morning. He sends me Bible quotes every morning.
We'll do. Yeah, thanks again for
we'll do.
So before we go, I don't know, Jason, I don't think you can stick around for the after hours, but we have an after hours podcast after this for all you listeners. If you guys want to hear it, you guys can check it out live too, even if you sign up for our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. And there's different levels you can sign up for, like $10, $25. So please check that out. It helps keep the lights off in my basement. Man, who knows? I might move into a house that I actually have my own bedroom. So just keep on finding other ways to donate to the show. If you go to PRLfans.com And there's other ways to donate to the show there. And we have t-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. If you use the code PRL or PRL podcast, you get a 10% discount. If you use the code PRL2, you'll get a 20% discount if you spend $50 or more. So until next time, live free
or die.